How to eliminate cheek by jowl to supersize your business, especially during COVID-19. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with my friend Pluto, and today we are cheek to cheek or cheek by jowl. I got to tell you, I have never ever in my entire life, and I don't even remember it in A Midsummer Night's Dream when William Shakespeare in 1595 used cheek to cheek. I probably remember that. We've all heard cheek to cheek, dancing cheek to cheek. But cheek by jowl, in my experience, I don't recall ever hearing this expression, much less using it. Now, when I think of jowls, the reason I got Pluto is because I think of dogs and they have their like kind of flabby cheeks and lips, especially depending on the different type of breed of dogs. And that's, I think of a jowl on a dog, not really on a person, but cheek by jowl became popular a couple centuries after Midsummer Night's Dream, which was published in 1595. And I'm not sure where it became popular, maybe in England, because I've never heard it in my neck of the woods before. But it means in close proximity, packed together. I think of packed like sardines more than I think of cheek by jowl. It reminds me of when we were kids, when we were teenagers, before the laws changed and you couldn't have more than one other kid your age, or if you were, I had a probationary license, at least in the state of Wisconsin. We used to pack as many of us in a car as we possibly could. There weren't as many cars as there were kids that wanted to go from place to place. So whenever we were doing anything, we would pack each other into cars. We would see how many kids we could fit into a car. That old cartoon of, you know, how many people or how many clowns can get out of a tiny car or out of a Volkswagen. We used to actually do that. I might be aging myself when I say that, but we would do things like that. Good, clean fun to be in close proximity. And that was, of course, before COVID-19, when we didn't, when we had to physically separate from one another. Well, how do you make sure that you don't have people cheek to cheek? Make sure that you don't have too many people in your organization. Make sure that you're keeping your employees, yourself, and your customers safe during this chaotic, crazy time of the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, number one, we have to rethink the way we've always done things. One of my most dreaded phrases is, well, that's just the way we've always done it. Guess what? We need to knock that phrase out of our vocabulary, just like when we knock a word out of our vocabulary. We need to get rid of that once and for all and forget about this is the way we've always done things. This is how we do things now, and this is how we're moving to do things in the future. So how are we doing things now? Definitely different, right? We need to physically separate our workplaces. We need to physically separate kids in our schools. We need to physically separate customers coming into our physical locations. So it's a lot about location. It's a lot about rearranging our workspaces, rearranging our retail spaces or the places that we serve people in ways that keep ourselves and everybody safe. If you've been to a nail salon lately, if you've been to a hair salon, if you've been to grocery stores, everybody's marking off X's or circles, stand here, respect the 6-foot distance in checkout lines and things. Now, I've only seen a couple of these because I personally have not been participating and going to a lot of places that I would normally go. So how do we reimagine our businesses? We get creative. We think outside the way we've always thought before. We think outside the way we've always done things. We look for new solutions and we focus on solutions, because guess what? Absolutely everything any of us are facing right now, there are solutions for. And they don't have to be super complicated, hard to figure out, difficult solutions, right? I could go into details of different environments and industries that I've experienced and helped with, but sometimes we try to overcomplicate things when if we just keep it simple, the simplest solution is usually the fastest, quickest, and easiest to implement. And it's usually the best solution for changing dynamic times. So look for creative solutions. Find ways and different ways to serve people. Use technology. I would say coronavirus has been probably the biggest boon for transitioning businesses from the offline to the online world of all time. It has, in a few months period, bridged the chasm that was people's fear of jumping into the online world, and it's made it a necessity. Online ordering, curbside delivery, delivery and pickup, phone orders, things that businesses have been trying to do for a decade or more. I know of some personal examples where businesses had been saying, oh, we want to do a curbside thing. And they never did it, never did it, never did it. It was never the right time. And all of a sudden COVID hit and boom, they are having as many or more sales with curbside pickup than they did when they had people coming into their business. So anything is possible if we open up our minds and put on our thinking caps and our creativity, and we decide we're going to figure stuff out. We always will figure it out. So curious what you're doing to not be cheek by jowl, to keep people separate, physically separated. Remember, physical separation is not social separation. Socially, we can still connect through technology and things, and by physically separating, we can still get together. Can we have big crowd gatherings and concerts and things? No, but guess what? We'll figure that stuff out as well. I mean, people are using technology to do online seminars, online courses, online events, you know, day-long online events. Are using technology, and I've participated in some of those. And in some ways, you miss the direct contact with other people, but they're using Zoom rooms and things that are just incredible. And we're actually connecting with different groups of people that we would never connect with if we were there in person. Out of fear or out of shyness or whatever it is, which is fear, I guess. It's actually, I found the experience even better in some ways than the actual traveling and going to events. So there's always an upside to everything. That's it. That's our idiom for today. I would love to know if you have actually heard of or used this particular expression, cheek by jowl, because it's one of the few that I've actually got zero personal experience with. All right, have an awesome day. I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business right now? Take care.